Romans 6:23 says this, for the wages of sin is death. How many of us here like a paycheck? Right? We all do, right? I see some of you guys not raising your hands. So if you don't like it, send it my way. I'll take it for you, okay? So for the wages of sin is death. That means when you live in sin, it's going to produce something that you're going to get in return. Because when I work, usually I'm getting something in return for my effort, for my work, right? It's called money. Usually comes in a check. Sometimes it's cash, bills, things like that. Sometimes it's change. I'll take pennies these days, right? And they're not even making pennies, but you can do that, send that as well. For the wages of sin is death. You see, sin always pays, but it pays in death. Sin produces a spiritual death, which is separation from God. Sin produces relational death, which is broken relationships. Sin produces emotional death, which is guilt, shame, and despair. You see, we're not meant to live with those things. God doesn't want us to carry around shame for things we've done in the past. That's why He came, died on the cross, rose 3 days later, which we're going to get to, which I can't wait, and we're going to talk about it more and more. But man, that is the freedom that God brings from the shame and despair. You see, sin produces judgment. In Romans 1:19 through 20, going back to our text, it says, they know the truth about God because He has made it obvious to them. For ever since the world was created, people have seen the earth and the sky. Through everything God made, they can see His invisible qualities, His eternal power and divine nature. So they have no excuse. You and I have no excuse for not knowing God. People that live in a tribal country somewhere that have never heard the gospel have no excuse for not knowing God. You know why? Because God is going to reveal Himself to those people. I've heard countless stories of that happening before missionaries show up on the scene with Bibles. It's awesome what God does. It's great that He includes us in the story He's writing, but He really doesn't need us. You see, there's a word in here that I want us to understand, and it's about suppressing. Suppress means to forcibly put an end to. You see, Paul's saying right here, people know God exists, but we push down the truth. How many times in your life, and you don't have to answer this question out loud, have you taken something that you've known to be true and you pushed it down? Maybe another way to put it is you sweep it under a rug. You ignore it. Sometimes it's like the piece of clothing that's on your child's floor. And they just happen to walk around that piece of clothing all the time, right? Leaving it on the floor. Anybody else experience that? Yeah, I used to be the same one, so. But that's exactly what sin is. We push it down, we hide it. And so to suppress something means to forcibly put an end to. We see a lot of that going on in our world today. That people are trying and are continuing to try at an ever greater increase, greater energy to suppress the truth. They don't want the truth to be found. They want to try to hide it, keep it hidden. You know, what happens in dark spaces and what happens in hidden spaces usually is not good. My parents used to tell me that anything after, like, when the sun goes down, if you're out doing something, it's usually not good. There was a lot more wisdom to that than I realized. I'm not saying don't go out after the sun goes down, but what happens in the dark tends to be things that we don't want people to know about. So we push it down, we hide it, we try to keep people from finding out about it. We try to keep God from finding out about it, when in reality, He knows what's going on. He sees your innermost thoughts. You can say the right words all day long, but He already knows your heart's condition. He knows your motives more than anything else.